Shocking Canucks trade reports keep piling up around a certain superstar, with Darren Dreger and other insiders reporting a massive trade incoming ahead of the March 7th deadline, which will be the deciding factor between the playoffs or the golf course this summer for the Canucks. We're going to be breaking down all of that in this episode of Canucks Digest, so first make sure to hit that subscribe button and click the bell icon so you don't miss any and all updates surrounding the Canucks as we get closer and closer to this year's trade deadline. And with that, let's hop into the first topic of the day, which is trade block for Brock. So, Darren Dreger came out earlier today with a tweet that said that Canucks continue to consider all options with Brock Boeser. Vancouver did make an extension offer in the first half of the season, but it's not believed to be on the table any longer. Obviously, trade possibilities are being explored. Now, just a few days ago, we did cover how the Canucks did go to Brock Boeser with an option with $8 million a year, which is what he was wanting per year. However, the length of the term was not up to snuff. And this is also being backed up by Rick Dhaliwal saying that he's not hearing the Canucks and Brock Boeser are close on a new deal. Could go three ways this week: sign, trade, or keep him. Now, this was a very big topic of discussion ahead of the game on Saturday against the Seattle Kraken, which unfortunately did not go the way we wanted it to. Nobody really showed up in that game as far as superstars were concerned, and the ones that had the most noise going around them this game, that would be around Elias Pettersson and Brock Boeser. Now, all the Elias Pettersson drama, that's something for another video that's going to be coming your guys' way very soon with the trade deadline looming. As far as Brock Boeser is concerned, that was the major topic of conversation, was that the Canucks can either go into a one-year playoff rental with him to try and keep him for a playoff push, even if they know they're going to lose him in free agency on July 1st, or you try and extend him before the trade deadline, or as much as you can during that time until July 1st, really, because then if you do keep him around past the trade deadline, you have that time to negotiate with him and find the right deal that can be put on the table where Brock isn't left to go to another team on July 1st. Now, the other option is if the Canucks know that they can't make a deal happen with Brock, they know that they're not going to be able to make one happen by July 1st, and they don't want to have to pigeonhole themselves with a playoff rental because they are not interested in rentals. They are interested in having guys that they can worry about and have for the future, not have to worry about contract expiring all at the same time, or just constantly having a one-year rental looming over their heads. So, very big decision to make for the Canucks. And then you have Cam Robinson as well coming out saying, I do believe the Canucks are actively talking trade on Brock Boeser with a number of teams, but from my understanding, they haven't decided against keeping him for the playoffs. Still have a chance they meet one last extension as well. This one seems too tough to guess at this point. So yeah, it is a big guessing game right now for the Canucks. There's a lot that is going to be that is to be considered as far as options, like Rick Dhaliwal was saying, where they have three options to look at here. Now, those three options, they're very tough ones because no one knows what the future is going to hold. You could extend Boeser and have him for a playoff run and then it not work out, but then you also have him at least there in Vancouver for a few more seasons. So you have that insured, but you're still going to be paying him a lot of money as he gets older and as the cap situation gets a bit more difficult for Vancouver. But thankfully, the cap is going up next year, so we have that on our side. However, if you do decide to keep him for that playoff rental and you don't go on a playoff run, that's where things are going to get disastrous for the Canucks. And that's where it becomes a difference of playoff run or the golf course this summer, like I was saying, because looking at the standings right now, Vancouver tied for that final wildcard spot with Calgary. Colorado is very much in command of that first wildcard spot. And then it's also a matter of Vancouver, like, yes, we are in a playoff race right now. St. Louis and Utah, they're right on our butts right now. They're only 1 and 2 points behind us. So in St. Louis, they are hot right now. They are just on a heater. They are seeming like a force right now that is getting hot at the right time and carrying a lot of momentum. So that's going to be one team to watch that's going to be on our butts for very much of the rest of this season. Then you also have Calgary, where they're also near us in the division, or near us in rankings as well, where we want to jump up there, try and just leapfrog them. But even the head-to-head matchups that we have against them, they haven't been as strong of showings as we want them to be, and we've struggled against them this season. We've struggled against a lot of teams this season. One team that we have definitely struggled against this season as well is the team that, if Vancouver somehow squeaks into this playoffs, not as a wild card, actually, if they don't squeak in as a wild card team, that's fantastic news. But if they do squeak in as a wild card team, who do we play the first round? All in likelihood, probably the Winnipeg Jets. If they win the President's Trophy, we have that on our side, at least for some playoff hope. But if they don't, we're probably looking at a 5-game series if we're lucky. So it does cause some revenue for Vancouver in the playoffs. That's amazing that the team will make some money that way. But if this is all leading us towards a first-round exit against the Winnipeg Jets, I know everyone's going to get on me about being doom and gloom and how we're just writing off the season already. There is time for us to maybe make a push within the division where we don't have to get a wild card spot and we can kind of go on a bit of a heater. I know that seems like a far cry right now with the way things are with Vancouver, how inconsistent we've been, how lacking our offense has been, the lack of superstar strength that we've had, and just productivity that isn't Quinn Hughes. So I know there's a lot of question marks and a lot of things that are very alarming with Vancouver. Where is it very likely we jump into third place in the Pacific Division? Probably not, but it still could happen. It goes to show that Vancouver, when they go on a run like last year and at certain points this year, if we can go on a 4-game heater, we've seen how drastically that playoff picture can change. So if we can go on a nice 6-game heater where even if we're winning 6 out of 10 or 8 out of 12 here and there, that's really good for the Vancouver Canucks, because I think that can go to show, hey, we can get consistent. We can go on a bit of runs here and there. Maybe not rattling off 10 straight wins like some other teams like Winnipeg was able to do earlier this year, but at least going off on runs consistent enough where we can have a 2-to-1 win ratio or a 3-to-1 win ratio where we can make a decent push where we're not having to face the Winnipeg Jets in the first round. Because as far as Brock Boeser is concerned, if it's all leading up to playing Winnipeg in the first round, you've had him as a playoff rental for ultimately no reason. I'm sorry to say it, but this is coming from somebody who is a massive Brock Boeser fan and has been on the side of, yes, keep him at any cost possible, no matter what it does to the team. I've said on record that as an emotional Canucks fan and thinking emotionally, I don't care if it pigeonholes us if we can keep Brock in Vancouver with an extension. However, where like Mark was saying on that one episode, how he brought up as the good devil's advocate point, where saying that if they do extend Brock, that's going to put them in a very big financial hole. And as far as his age, his health concerns, and things that you could get for him as far as value, while you can without letting him walk for nothing, because that's the biggest kicker with all of this. If this is all leading towards playing the Jets in the first round, a first round exit, we lose Brock Boeser for nothing, and or if we are able to extend him, great. But if it's leading towards that, it's not likely that they're going to be able to extend him, especially if we're starting to rethink some things as far as superstars are. I know there might be a certain buyout at some point in the next few seasons or so. We're going to cover that in a later video. But as far as Brock Boeser is concerned, if you don't make a deal happen, and a deal hasn't been made happening in a while, it goes to show it's been very dormant, and Vancouver could be looking to move on from Brock so that they could at least get something for him. But what do you guys think down in the comments below? Do you guys think that it's going to be which of the 3 options do you guys think it's going to be? Do you guys think that we're going to somehow get a deal done with Brock before March 7th, before we could potentially just lose him on the open market? Do you guys think that we are going lose him on the open market potentially in July, or just move on from him at the trade deadline? Do you guys think that we're going to keep him as just a 1-year playoff rental and let him walk? Or do you think that we are going to get an extension done? Let us know what you guys have to say down in the comments. It's been a very interesting couple of days looking at the comments because of how the Canucks have been playing recently. And with the trade deadline heating up, we're going to have so many videos coming your guys' way as March 7th gets closer and closer every day. We might have another video coming at you guys later tonight even, but stay on the lookout for that. Hit that bell icon so you don't miss any of the new episodes when they drop, because this trade deadline is going to be very busy for the Vancouver Canucks. Not just us saying that. Patrik Allvin's come out and said that. Jim Rutherford's come out and said that. Elliot Friedman's come out and said that. The Canucks are going to be very busy before and on March 7th. So stay tuned for all the updates as we bring them your guys' way. But as always, thank you guys very much for watching. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. And again, hit that bell icon so you don't miss the new updates when they drop. But with that, I've been your host, Griffen. Take care.